Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. It has been one of those days. I mean, everything just been moving, and we're just so glad to be moving in it. So we're just glad to be here one more time with people that we believe that you should know that are making a difference in the city of Chicago, preferably on the west side, because we're doing a lot of stuff on the west side right now. And so without any further ado, I just want to cut through the chase and just introduce to some and present to others. None other than I would like to say, if you don't mind if I say this, a good friend of mine, a good man of God, a good person who's loving what the work he's doing and loving the people that he's serving. And I just want to put it on out there saying that I believe in what you're doing. I've been watching what you've been doing, and I think your heart is in what you're doing. And we want to just encourage you, Deputy Chief Cato, to continue to do what your heart is leading you to do for the people in the community. You ain't going to be able to please everybody, but anybody that know you and the work that you've been doing, you are good stock. You come from a good circle of folks that's been in the community doing the work, and I just think the proof is in the pudding. All right? I think back on the places you've been working and the areas you've been working on, and it speaks for itself. And I know many people that have dealt with you, and I deal with you all the time, and I'm telling you, I never have a negative experience. I mean, you're open, you're always accessible, and you're always talking about what can we do together. So without any further ado, I'm presenting to you, those who are watching, none other than Deputy Chief Ernest Cato of Area North. And we're going to be talking specifically tonight about what can we do? What can we do to bridge the gap between the community, the police, community, police, community, all of that good stuff. That's what you've been doing. I mean, you've been doing it as a commander. You've been doing it all the time under other folks. You've been doing it. So I think this is something that you do quite well. And the proof, again, is in the pudding. And we was talking a little while ago. We was talking about some of the things that's been going on in different districts. And it shows that your presence have been somewhat contagious in that folks, when I was there, I see the camaraderie. People be fired up. The energy levels be high. I mean, we was at 15 a little while ago last week, I think it was, because I'll be going to so many places, sometimes I forget. I mean, folks was up in there, man, like they was in another zone, all right, about serving and helping each other. I mean, I'm just telling you what I'm feeling, all right? And I'm led by a certain spirit, and these folks was in there like geeked up, you know? I'm like, what they on?
It was a pep rally.
What they doing? And it wasn't encouraged. Right. The gathering wasn't a pep rally encouraging. It was just folks coming together talking about their love for what they're doing, their love for the community, and they was literally fired up as a result of because they genuine people. So I want to say that the folks that are working on your team have been real genuine people. They've been open to working together and loving working together, and I just I think it's all good. So listen, tonight we're going to be talking to Deputy Chief Cato. As I alluded to before, Deputy Chief Cato is committed to the work that he's doing. He's a man on a mission. He's a man of purpose. I think he's, in my mind, I think he's a true community servant for social and community change. And I just want to say to you, keep doing the good work, Cato, but I just need to know. I mean, we had a few talks in the past, and one day I was doing this and you was doing this, and you had visit home, and I was on my way going down south, and I loved it. Trust me, I want to go back right now. Really, I do. But who is Ernest Cato?
Wow. I tell you what, Ernest Cato is the oldest child to Shirley May. Ernest Cato was raised by a single parent with two other boys on the west side of Chicago. I've seen a lot on the west side of Chicago. I've moved around as a kid quite often in the city of Chicago, from the west side to the south side to the north side, back to the west side.
And thank you.
Yeah, no, I am a product on the west side.
Thank you for coming back.
From the area of Costner and Madison. I am a product of the west side. I went to Heffernan Elementary School for a short time.
Lawrence Upper Grade Center.
Yeah, okay. I tell you, Ernest Cato tries to make his grandparents from the backwoods of Mississippi very proud, and I continue that every day. And I'm a firm believer there is no young man or young woman who don't want to make their mothers, fathers, grandparents proud. sometimes we just don't have the avenue to do it, or we don't know how, or we're confused. I've been fortunate that I've had some strong people in my life that actually showed me the way. And I think if I didn't have that network around me, I don't know if Ernest Cato would be sitting here today. If it wasn't for the church in my life, you know, if it wasn't for the church who helped raise rent money, you know, if it wasn't for the church where if you had a problem, you went to that church, if it wasn't for community organizations like the Boys and Girls Club that I was fortunate enough to come up in, who knows where Ernest Cato may have been. You know, we had a very small, knit family that went through some very tough times in our life. But I tell you, with the faith that we had and a very strong mother with a size 8.5, and just
sound like down south, man.
Yeah, it is down south. You know, and I'll tell you something about Ernest Cato a lot of folks don't know. During the summer months as I was growing up, my grandfather always said, you have to know your people. So he would send us down to Mississippi while we were growing up every summer. Well, down in Mississippi, I had an uncle who had a small trucking company, and Ernest Cato used to haul cattle. Ernest Cato used to work on roofs during the summer, so I understand what hard work means. And I understand if you want something, you have to really put the effort into it. But you got to have somebody to show you how.
So mentorship and leadership has its place for real.
Yes, leadership and mentorship, no matter what type of life you're in. You're going to get leadership, you're going to get mentorship, but who you getting it from?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know, I kind of, you know, we've had an opportunity, and I thank God for that we had an opportunity as men to, you know, sometimes have some personal conversation. And I would share with you that I have a lot of folks, thank you, Lord, that's still alive in Mississippi. And how I get so much joy when I visit, when I go home. I went home for my birthday, for Thanksgiving.
Sure.
I went to Mississippi, and trust me, I had the best time. All right,
yeah.
I had the best time, and so I thank you for sharing that with us. But now, with that being said, now we know the personal and the heartfelt side. Now we see why you are who you are. You come up with the roots from the South. All right, obviously it speaks for itself. But then, who is DC Cato?
Deputy Chief Cato is the same person who Ernest Cato is.
Okay.
You know, one thing I've learned is that if you treat people right, you're going to get it back. And sometimes people may treat you wrong, but you have to understand sometimes where that's coming from. So Deputy Chief Cato just believes in putting in a hard day's work. I don't do anything I don't believe in. You know, if I believe in it, you're going to get 200%.
Okay.
Until it's done right.
Well, and we believe it, and we see it, and that's why I think people are so driven to want to work with you. You know, people can choose whoever they want to work with, all right? Yes. But people have chosen and have a fondness for working with you because they love your presentation, they love your openness, and you're personable, all right? It's like we can be talking seriously about some things, and then we can come right back and have a joke, all right? Yeah. You know, and crack up and have fun, sure, and get back to the seriousness. Sure. So that's real personable, and people need to see that. But let's go. What is Area North? You're the Deputy Chief of Area North, correct?
Deputy Chief of Area North.
What is Area North?
Area North is the majority of the west side of Chicago and the majority of the north side of Chicago. It's 9 police districts. Nine police districts, which are the 11th district, the 15th district, the 16th district, the 17th district, the 19th district, the 20th district, the 24th district, and the 25th district.
And you are
Deputy Chief of those districts.
Of all of them?
At this present time, I'm the Deputy Chief of all 9 districts.
Got it.
And all 9 districts, some share common issues, but the majority of them have different issues. Some districts may involve a lot of violence. Some districts may involve robberies, burglaries. Some
So
districts.
you're a real administrator.
Am I a real administrator?
I say you are a real administrator.
I'm someone who finds some really good people to work around me.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Okay. I like that.
no one does
I like that.
anything alone. And we have to recognize that you have to find really good people who care about the things that they do. And I've been very fortunate to have some very strong people who support the things that I think that should be done. And we've been very effective with that.
And it shows. So the area you talked about, the different areas. So those are different commanders. Hello, commanders. You want to say something to the commanders of all them districts?
You know, I have some great commanders in these districts. I mean, we talk about Commander Darrell Spencer in the 11th District. Huge. He's really into what he wants to do. We're talking about Commander Talley in the 15th District. You're talking about a young lady with some very strong shoulders. And I also miss the 14th District. I have that district also with Commander Merrill Roman, someone who really cares about his community and the roots into that community. And in the 16th District, we have Commander Begain, another young lady who's just really into her community, figure out what they need, and she pushes it hard. We have Commander Ron Pantacore in the 17th District. And we also have, I skipped 19, didn't I? And that's Commander Papiano.
I'm not going to try it.
Commander Papiano.
I'm impressed with the fact that you remember all
another
those.
strong individual,
Yeah.
you know. And then we have Commander McGruton in the 20th District. You're talking about an individual who understands what the community needs and pushes it out there. Commander Rubino in the 24th District. She has a very multicultural district, and I'm meeting with her tomorrow because we have some issues that we have to talk about to help the Jewish community in that particular area. You know, then we have the 25th District right now with Commander Gutierrez, a new commander in the 25th District. He just had a meet and greet with the community, and he was able to put out there what his message is. He was able to put out there the things that he's going to accomplish, and the community has accepted it.
And
now
they did. They received it quite well.
They received it well.
Yeah, they received them quite well.
They received it well.
I mean, it came out for him, and they received them, and he received them.
Yes.
I mean, he was so personable. He was so personable. I mean, you rolled him out. Y'all had a nice time to talk with the whole community. The community had some off the cuff conversations. They can talk about whatever they wanted to talk about. You know, with respect. They didn't have, it was no negative event. Everybody had a chance to really interact. We got a caller. Let's get this caller. Thank you so much for calling the show tonight. We have, of course, none other than Deputy Chief Ernest Cato. Tonight we're going to call him DC Cato or Deputy Chief Cato. And he's the District Deputy Chief of Area North. What is your question and comment?
And good evening to y'all guys. This is Steve. I got one comment and one question. The comment is it North? Would you be part of Gang North and Gang South on the south side? And number two, we need to give community, neighborhoods that they get together and help people. We know what's going on in our neighborhood, so let's have the police officers get the crime. I'm so sorry. I hope you can understand what I said.
Thank you, Steve. Steve
Let
was
me
saying
get out
something
there.
about the areas of Area North, and he was saying that, I think he referenced the point that we should be able to work together to do things to assist each other, empower each other, to have things working together. I think Steve was sharing some of those concerns. And if I'm not saying what you said, Steve, call us back. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the things I think Steve was alluding to about.
Well, let me address
Sure,
this.
please.
Was that Steve?
Steve.
Steve is absolutely right about empowering the community to assist the police with what's going on in our community.
Absolutely.
We can't be effective without the community, and it's very important that we build a relationship with the community so the community feels comfortable enough to help and assist the police department with rebuilding our communities.
So we're talking tonight with Deputy Chief how we can continue to work together. All right? We ain't talking about what ain't happening. We're talking about what is happening. And we're complimenting what is happening and making sure that we bring the energy, the passion of the old school values back into it and helping each other. We got another caller. Thank you so much, caller, for calling. Thank you. What's your comment or question?
I have a question. My question is...
We need you just to speak up just a little bit because
Okay,
we
can
can
you
hardly
hear
hear
me?
you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My question is what is going to be done as far as the west side of Chicago, say from Austin to just the west side period? What is going to be done to stop to kind of calm down the gang violence and the shootings and whatnot? What's going to happen? Because it's scary as a resident of the west side of Chicago just to be standing outside.
Okay. That's a nice question.
That's a
Thank
great
you so
question.
much.
Hey, can I jump right on that,
By
Rev?
all means, she talking to you.
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. It's not what can be done, it's what we're doing already. We're building these relationships. We're restoring the problems that we've had in the past. We're now partnering with community organizations. And I say this all the time. There's not a block in this city that we can't take back. The issue is how are we going to sustain it? And what we're doing now in the cities now with the partnerships that we've now have made with community organizations, they're going into these blocks and they're helping us sustain it. The relationships that we're now empowering our community to understand that we're going to be with you. We're not going to leave you out there by yourself when you're out there assisting the police, but it's very important that we continue to have the trust that we have with building relationships with communities, with empowering the communities to actually work their communities. We're taking these blocks back. We want to empower the community so that you can come out on your porch and sit out there at night and have a good time.
I'm not going to let her get away like that.
Don't let her get away?
No, because I think she was specific, and you are specific about us working together. But go ahead and give it to her and tell her about that DCO. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I think it's time that you go ahead and lay that on her.
I think we need to go ahead and let
her have it.
We have an initiative right now. It's called our Neighborhood Policing Initiative. Right now, it's in the 25th district and it's in the 15th district. It will be coming to other districts on the west side. What is the Neighborhood Initiative Policing Initiative? Basically, it's going to be like every person on the block is going to have the individual police officers. We're now having police officers walk in certain sectors, finding what the community needs, giving out that cell phone number so you have a police officer that you can call. And say,
a personal relationship.
A personal relationship
Yeah.
that you can call and say, these are the problems that we have. That officer will then, a couple of things that officer is going to do. If it's an issue where you just need food, that officer is going to work it out that you find some food. If it's an issue where someone has mental illness, that officer is going to find the resources to help you or your family member with those mental issues.
And that's important.
Oh, that's huge.
That's important. It ain't like an officer just riding by you no more. It's now we got these DCOs, and these DCOs relationships, according to what I'm hearing, is going to be a direct intervention with the community. They're on the block like back in the days with the officer friendly way. Where he was, hey, so how you doing, Miss Jones? Right?
And let's just not put it. It's just not going to be that district coordination officer. The goal is that all officers are going to be building those relationships within the community. That you're going to know who those officers are, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen rapidly.
We got another call for you, Commander. But you know what I mean, Deputy Chief. I apologize, but I did remember you when you was Commander too, though. So I may make a mistake or two. You on the line?
And you know I love making a difference with Father Who Cares, Miss Griffin.
Miss Griffin.
And this is my uncle. If he was alive, he was the first black officer, high-ranking, over at the Fillmore District, George T. Sam. And I just love my law enforcement officer. And I want people to understand we are the ones who help make the difference. And get up off of you know what, and get out here and work with your community. And thank you for accepting my offer.
You know we love you, Miss Griffin. Miss Griffin is faithful viewer and a lifelong community activist in the community. And she's put in the work. And she's telling us how she loved the fact that we all are working together with our law enforcement officers and that we should work together. But let's come on back and talk to the Deputy Chief. So Deputy Chief, you was talking about the initiative, the community initiative. You want to keep on talking about that, or do you want to come back and talk about what can we do to come together to make our community safer?
You know, I think it's a real simple formula. I really do. I think it's a real simple formula. And that we have to use our blocks as...
I like that.
We have to use our blocks. If we don't come out on our porches and enjoy our porches, if we don't take walks in our neighborhoods, if we don't use it, someone else will use it. as we start to take those walks, sit on our porches, go to our parks, and start using that, the elements that are taking it over now, the negative elements, they'll leave.
Okay.
I've seen it. Just a quick story.
Sure.
This is about a year or so ago. I was at a community meeting, and one of our seniors said to me at the particular time, Commander, I'm afraid to come out on my porch. I have these young guys that are just standing there.
Sound like the woman just was on
Right.
the phone.
I can't even sit in my living room and watch my television. I'm afraid to look out the window. I said, do me a favor. If your living room's like mine, your sofa back is against the window, your television is right in front of you. She said, yes. I said to her, do you have a broom? She said, yes. I said, well, when you're watching television, put that broom next to you. When you hear that noise in the front and young men just standing there that you don't know, just talking, and you believe they may be selling drugs, take your broom and hit the curtain. Well, she did that a few times. She came back to a couple of meetings later and she said, Commander, I did what you told me to do. I took my broom and I hit the curtain a few times, and finally I heard them say, that's that crazy old lady looking out the window again. And they moved. Well, they moved because you took your power back. They thought you were watching them. See, these young men, they don't want you watching them, or young girls. They're actually ashamed of what they're doing, and they don't want to be seen. And if we start literally looking out our windows, sitting on our porches, having conversation with our police officers walking down the street, you will see a change. But
Be involved.
you have to be involved. And police officers ourselves, we have to be involved in those blocks also.
So I thank you. We got a couple minutes left. So I really want to thank the Deputy Chief for his passion to the work that he's doing. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell folks who may be interested in some job opportunities. The force is always hiring. They're always looking for folks to hire.
Yes.
Why should folks consider being a law enforcement officer?
Well, to have change, you got to be part of it. You got to be part of it. We need really strong people to come out and be a part of the police officers. But it's up to police officers like myself to set a really good example so that young folks will see that this job is a really
You look like you like
good
it.
job.
You look like you like it.
Man, I love it. I love
Let's get you
having the
another caller.
ability to go out
Caller,
and
you on
help.
there. We don't have much time. We're talking to Deputy Chief Cato. Please make your comment, question as brief as possible. Yes. Can we hear you? Okay, we don't have that caller. Is that a caller? Can we hear you? Go ahead, please.
Call was disconnected.
Okay, no problem. So let me ask this question. As we close out this segment of this show, if some folks was watching and they was interested in some of the things that's going on in the districts, how can they get involved?
That's really simple. Just go to your neighborhood police district and go to the community
Don't
police.
be afraid.
No, don't be afraid. Go to the community policing office. And remember, the police districts are your districts. They're like your community center. Just go there and say, how can I be a part of what's going on in here in the district? And you're going to see how welcome you're going to be.
Now you're saying all they got to do is just go to the district and tell them they want to be involved.
That's it.
You heard it here.
That's it.
You heard it here. And we also want to encourage those of you who are out there who are looking for some other employment opportunity. The U.S. Census Fathers Who Care is working with a collaboration of other folks. With the U.S. Census, we're letting you know that if you are not being counted, you don't count. So we want you to get involved. If you need additional information about the U.S. Census, how to get involved in it, give us a call at Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821. You can Twitter us, Instagram us, YouTube us, Snapchat us, all of them young people over in there that's doing the show today, that's producing the show, they keep me in the loop with that social media stuff.
Social media, no.
Because I don't know nothing about it
Don't worry.
until they hook me up.
My kids keep me in the loop.
They keep me in the loop. I be running around here like I'm on, like I got it going on, man. Them young folks, give me that phone. Let me show you.
Sure.
They put it on there. All I got to do is touch a button. All right. So thank you so much, Deputy Chief. Now, in closing, we want to give you an opportunity to put out a challenge to the community. And that challenge can be what you would like for the community to be working on, some of the things that you would like the community to do in relationship with working with law enforcement, or whatever it is that you have on your heart that you would like to encourage the community to participate in.
That's really simple. Just be a part of the change. Be a partner with the Chicago Police Department and let us help you help our community. And it's just really simple.
I like that. Let us help you
Help our community.
help our community, not your community, our community.
Our community.
Did you actually hear that? Let us help you help us help our community. That was powerful. So listen, you heard it here. Listen, thank you so much. God bless you. We want to thank our Deputy Chief and ask for your prayers. We'll be leading out here, going to D.C. tomorrow to do some training. Listen, it's been fun. As always, keep us in your prayers. We're going in to talk about a national faith-based initiative that we're doing nationally. And so we're bringing folks from around the country, and we're talking about how we can continue to organize in our community. So thank you so very much for all you've done and all you've been doing. God bless you. Good night, and keep the faith, and we'll see you next week. Well, the young people will see you next week, but y'all keep us lifted. Thank you so much, and God bless.